Hello everyone, and welcome to another video. Today's going to be fairly straightforward. We're going to be looking at something I picked up at Goodwill not too long ago. And it's this little Sharp Aquos, however you pronounce that, little Sharp television here. And it's a pretty interesting little unit. I actually saw one of these quite a while ago at a yard sale. And I actually did purchase it only to get it in the car and look at it and realize there was a crack right down the middle of the screen. Besides that, it didn't have the remote and it did not have the stand, so it was just sort of this free-forming little television there. In fact, I think there was still some string on it from, I guess, someone's previous attempt to hang it somewhere. I guess it obviously fell and broke. But anyway, the reason I purchased this particular TV was because, well, it was fairly complete actually. It has the remote control taped to the back. You could see there's a power brick, well, kind of, you could see. There was a power brick attached to it, so this is fairly complete. And yeah, it has your standard array of analog television ports, at least here in the US. And so we have, I believe, 3 inputs here. Yep. So we have AV1 in, which is composite and S-video. We also have an antenna jack there. Now this was made in 2003, so I'm not 100% sure if that's digital or not. That might just be analog, but hey, we'll figure that out. And then we have a AV-in2 that is video in/out, which intrigued me because a lot of these units you can't really get an output signal from. This might only be audio output, but I'll be interested to take a look. And actually, yeah, this might only be 2 inputs because it looks like that component there is not labeled, that component input there rather, is not labeled AV3. So it might be one of those things where it's AV2 and then you have to select whether you are expecting a composite signal or a component signal. But this design is pretty interesting, and we're going to get a closer look at this. But there's a handle here and a little stand. So let's take a look at this little lovely Sharp television. Okay, so here we have the Sharp television here, and this is of course not a widescreen display. It is a 4:3 aspect ratio television, but you know what? That's actually another reason why I picked it up, because it's getting harder and harder to find these televisions in good condition, especially one that has the power adapter, like this one, because it doesn't have a built-in power supply, it uses an external brick, and one that actually had the remote control, which is nice. You can also see here that this was put out recently on the show floor, and for $9.99, I think that's a pretty good value. Okay, so let's take a look at the back of the unit here. Again, we have the ports that we went over before, and we have that manufacture date of September 2003. So, this unit is roughly 17 years old at this point. The overall design of this TV is quite nice, and it's no surprise because this unit was envisioned by an acclaimed designer. So it's pretty cool to see their signature back here. Some of their television-related sketches are also displayed in this Sharp brochure. What I also like about this television is the buttons on the front. So let's remove this tape here. We no longer need to hold that remote in. And right away, you see that we do have a good array of buttons on the top here. Let me flip the image around. There we go. And so we have volume, channel, menu, TV video, which is your input button, and the main power switch, which is an on-off toggle. So that's very nice. Again, here are the ports that we referred to before. The video 1 input, which is composite and S-video. And then we actually have a headphone jack, which I missed earlier, and then there's the antenna input, as well as the power supply jack. On the other side of the unit here, we do have another video input, which is composite video, and then below that, there's a full array of component jacks as well. No HDMI on this machine, I'm afraid. So let's take a look at that remote control. It's a very interesting design. You can see how the top is almost like a upside down triangle, and then it has your regular remote control shape, but I do say that the button layout is quite, I guess, interesting. This really screams sort of like a 90s layout there where you had, colored buttons and stuff like that, at least at the televisions that I used. It's just a very interesting little device here, and we have some buttons that are curious. We have pick, flip, maybe that's like a picture-in-picture type thing, or an input switch. I don't know, let's test that out, but yeah, your standard remote control here. It takes 2 AAA batteries, and we will be seeing if those batteries work in a moment or two. It's interesting that the power supply actually has the pinout listed on it, which is very, very handy, especially for those who may be looking for a power supply. So yeah, that's a close-up of that if you need that. The other end of that jack looks proprietary, so that's an interesting plug. If you're trying to find a replacement, the best of luck to you. The power supply cable has this little button here that you actually have to push in quite firmly to release this from the unit. But I guess that's good because you don't want that falling out of the back of your television. Now it does look like, at least from the indications of the clips on the bottom here, there was maybe some cable management doors here, but those are of course not here anymore. But you can see there was sort of an indent here and the clips here and here. I do actually like this handle. That's another reason why I picked this up, because, you know, believe it or not, I actually carry TVs around from one part of the basement to the other to test equipment, and this handle just makes it a lot more easier to do so, especially because, well, the machine isn't that big, so that's a nice plus as well. You can also adjust the angle of the TV here pretty easily, which is a nice little feature. Now, of course, I tested this in the store because I wanted to make sure it worked before I brought it home, but let's give it a power on now. So there is that power on off switch, so I'm going to engage that, and you can see that power LED comes on, and we're on AV input too. Now I am curious because some of these TVs with the manual on off switch, if the switch is not engaged, you can't turn on the machine. So I'm going to disengage that power switch there. The machine's going to turn off. Let me see if that power button on the remote does anything. It does not. So yeah, you want to make sure that main power switch is engaged, and we're actually going to test to make sure that the batteries in this thing are actually still functional. Yep, change the channel. Seems to be a bit... Whoa. Somebody left the volume very, very high. Alright, so let's see what options we got here. Display just displays the channel name. We have bright. Alright, so you have presets of brightness, dark, bright, and normal. We'll just leave it on normal, I guess. And what is pick flip? Oh! Okay! So I guess depending on how you're hanging this, but it also does it flips it on the horizontal axis. I've never had a television that did that before. That's very interesting. Huh. I am trying to struggle for a means of why that would be necessary. Maybe if this is like set up and there's a mirror or something like that. That is interesting. I don't think I've ever had a television that could do that, but hey, now I do. Alright, flashback goes back to the previous channel, which we will not be using. And there's no menu system though. I'm very surprised on the remote as well. There's buttons right in the middle. I'm blind, I guess. Alright, so we got a sleep timer. We're not gonna... No, we're not gonna do that. Where's the exit? Oh, menu is the exit. That's odd. Video adjust, we can't do anything about that now. Presets, I guess this is like the channel presets. Oh, menu exits. I keep pressing menu because it's in the center. You'd think that would be enter, but no, this is 2003. Alright, so brightness, normal. Auto power off is off. I guess you could turn that on if you like. Picture flip, normal. Oh my goodness. And AV in is either out or in. Oh, okay, so this is... input. Oh, okay, it is just for the audio, I believe. Maybe? Not sure. I'll have to play around with that. Closed captioning, we have the option for off, 1, 2, and text 1, and text 2. And V-chip block, we're not going to do that. And setup, what is in setup? Blue screen on, off, on, off, language, English please, and channel setting, I guess, yes, this is to scan the channels that are in the area, and I'm not going to be doing that because I don't believe this has a digital tuner in it, so you're not really going to pick up anything. Even if we did, we'd probably get a content match. Alright, so video adjust is not available. I'm assuming that's because we're on an input. Let's... Actually, not on the input, rather. Let's change that. Let's see if we can get any of that to up here. And let's go back to menu. Yeah, now we have video adjust. Okay, so now we can adjust the... Well, we could for a second there until it decided to blank out on us. It's probably because it's not detecting any video source. Let's see if we can get something to display on this television. Helping me along today will be this Sega Master System, which, you know, I actually just got working, and I've never really had one in my youth. I had the power-based converter for the Sega Genesis, but I never had a working Master System. Now, as you could tell, this thing is very, very dirty. You Yeah, but hopefully it'll work out. And also we will be having to use a Sega Genesis controller pad because there's something a bit wrong with my Master System controller pad. So let's plug it in and see how it works. Alright, so we have a few things here. We have the Sega Master System and we have one of these little Pac-Man plug-and-play machines here. So we'll be able to test out some inputs pretty easily. So for the Master System, we have to go to channel 3. Well, not 30, but I should have pressed the 0 button, I guess. 03. There we go. Okay. Maybe there's a loose connection here. And there is. And the RF connection there requires some soldering, so we won't be tackling that today. But we're going to have to fiddle with it, I guess, a bit. Seemed to like that. I always like that you could select the level here. So I could start at round 30 if I really wanted to. Let's change the brightness here. There we go, nice and bright. Picture is actually pretty good. Oh, and this controller pad leaves a lot to be desired because it's stuck going left. But we can see the RF connection input works fine. Let's try out our little plug-in. There we go. Let's try our little plug-and-play Pac-Man machine here. That's on AV1. Okay. Hold position is interesting. You don't use the joystick in the traditional sense. You have to turn this yellow knob. It took me a while to figure this out. And I'm not the best at this, so you'll have to forgive me. Why is there no sound? Did it mute itself? Okay, no sound. That's weird. Let's try going into the menu. Oh, we could finally go into video adjust if I would press it correctly. Picture, tint, color, black level, sharpness, red, blue, green, color system. Okay, so we have N358, N443, PAL. Interesting. So this could actually display PAL signals. And CCAM too. Wow. I didn't know that. That's really neat. That's another reason to hang on to this television. Cool. That's an unexpected cool find in the menu here. Alright. I don't know why the audio is not working. Maybe it's just the... yeah. It's just the loose connection here. Again, something we'll have to solder. Well, the sound sounds decent on this machine, actually, so even though this is just mono, that's nice. And the picture looks pretty sharp, too. It is analog, of course, and, you know, this is an early kind of LCD there, and, you know, it is what it is, but it is a nice little television, and I'm very happy that it actually included the remote there, because that is a nice bonus. So that's about it for this little television. I think it's pretty neat for $10. Certainly a good pickup. I was impressed that it had that other region video display there, so I could display PAL signals and stuff like that. That audio out is an interesting feature. I guess you could plug that into a stereo system if you really wanted to. And it has the remote, which is also very nice. I do have another similar Sharp television, but it doesn't have the stand, and it's a little more awkward to use, so I think I'm going to be using this one, especially because it has that handle. I can easily carry that around the house. So I think that's pretty cool. If you like these sorts of videos, let me know. Be sure to click that little subscribe button and the like button as well. That'll be sure that you are aware of when I release new videos or I do a live stream or something like that. If you want to follow me on Instagram and Twitter, well, you could do that as well. Just follow me at Mac84TV. And if you want to support this channel on Patreon, well, go to patreon.com/Mac84. And for as little as $1 a month, you get instant access to behind-the-scenes videos that are released there before they're released on YouTube, discounted merchandise, and a bunch of other cool stuff. But that's about it for now, so I'll see you next time right here on Mac84. Thanks for watching.